Is it even worth it to get the grass-fed beef over the factory farm-raised beef? Let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Jeffrey Butts and I'm a doctor of dental surgery. And this channel is all about health and wellness for you to be healthy and wealthy. And today we are talking about the difference between grass-fed beef and farm or factory farm-raised beef. What is the difference, okay? So real quick, this is my understanding of it, okay? There is a guy, his name is Mr. Harris, and he was selling to all of the chain supermarkets. So he's a farmer, and he's a huge farmer. Mr. Harris was on the Joe Rogan show. That's where I first found out about him. This is how he explained grass-fed versus farm-raised beef, because he did them both, and he sold them both, all right? So grass-fed beef is basically cows free on the range, eating nothing but grass. They don't get antibiotics, they don't get any hormones, and that's it. They just eat grass, they grow, that's it, that's what they do. And then I guess I'm gonna say this out loud, I didn't really think about it, because it's an animal free on the range, right? And then somebody says, hey cow, hey, come here. And then they do that thing and they take the cow's life. That's what they do. And then we eat it. Anyway, it's delicious and it's grass-fed, all right? Now, here's the other one, all right? Farm-raised. Farm-raised is, and this is what Mr. Harris said, it is a fatty piece of meat because you get more fat in the layers because they feed them corn and grain. They also fill it with antibiotics because feeding it corn and grain makes its immune system not work as well, so they also have to give it antibiotics, and the antibiotics help them fight diseases, okay? Now, a young cow that's of age, that is ready to be served, ready to be killed, right? Mr. Harris would describe this particular cow as an old man. So it's a relatively unhealthy cow that if you did nothing to it, if you didn't take its life early, it probably wasn't going to live much longer because it was already a sickly cow. This is what Mr. Harris said, all right? So they kill it, it goes to the table, it is the marbleized fat on the meat that you can see all clearly, and the fats bubble up and it cooks it all well, and it's delicious, except for, now here's the difference between grass-fed and farm-raised or beef, okay? So grass-fed doesn't have the antibiotics, right? And farm-raised does have antibiotics as well as the corn and the grains. Well, we eat what the cows eat. So if we're eating an animal that has had antibiotics and corn, well, then we're eating the GMO and all of those things that are also not good for us, making us age in a way that we may not want to age if graceful aging is what we want to do. So because of this fact of the farm-raised beef, I don't eat that. I'm sorry, I say I don't eat that like I never eat that. Of course I eat that. I eat that probably every time I'm at a restaurant and it's not a grass-fed cow, and I say, can I have the steak, please? They serve it and I eat it. I try to eat it as less as possible. But the grass-fed that doesn't have those hormones, antibiotics, corn in it, that's delicious. I also eat that. I try to eat more of that. I can see, or when I'm at a restaurant, I'll ask if the beef is grass-fed. Sometimes they say yes, sometimes they say they don't know. When the answer is I don't know, I'm kind of like, okay, well, I know that I'm not gonna get that if that's what my mood is. Just try to eat as best you can, and I'd say that this is for the meat lovers in the house. This is what this is about. But hot dogs and canned meat, that's highly processed meat that has so many things in it to make sure that those molecules stay together, that the extra stuff that they put in the hot dogs and the canned meat are the things that can disrupt our hormones, disrupt our DNA, can make systems that are usually functioning fine not function so well because we have to deal with an extra thing, an extra pirate almost coming to our body, and now we have to deal with what we just put in ourselves. Hot dog, canned meat. Those would be meats that you'd want to not enjoy a lot of, okay? Now remember, I always say, do what you like, find out what your blood type is. Should you be eating meat anyway? It's a good question. It's a great question for you to answer for you. O blood type people, they say yes, eat meat. We do. I try to eat as much good meat as possible. I say that O blood type people should do that. People have said I'm an O blood that they are O blood type people that have never eaten meat or stopped eating meat and they feel good and they're thriving. I think that is amazing. Don't change if you feel like you shouldn't change, but if you're having problems and you want to know, you're like, okay, I found out that I'm an O blood type person and I'm going to eat some meat. Well, eat good meat. Okay, so let's talk about the welfare of these animals, this delicious beef that we speak of, all right? So the grass-fed cows are usually on free ranges that they eat the grass, and then they actually move the cows over time to another area with other grass so that grass that they just ate can grow back, and it's actually got a great impact on the environment, all right? So the farm-raised cattle, those animals, they're tightly contained in their stables, and they are not really, they're not taken care of. They're cooped up close together, not very happy like the ones that are free on the range. They're just unhappy. They're just a more unhappy animal, and then of course they get corn grain, soy, and injections of antibiotics in order for them to survive the conditions that they're in. So really it's just overall the life of that animal is just not a very healthy life. Even the stress of these animals can cause health issues for them and for you. And really, they're kind of, or indeed, an abused animal. And you just want to eat something better for yourself. You want to eat something that lived a better life. So, no to the factory beef, yes to the grass-fed beef, okay? We're going to talk about some other things. So, the taste and the texture. Now, I think that grass-fed beef tastes amazing. It's a little bit more robust of a flavor to me. I feel like the farm-raised, although it's got more marbling in it because it's got more fat in it because it's more of an unhealthy animal, is kind of, again, I love the fat, but it's still not the pop of a flavor that a grass-fed animal has. So, keep these things in mind. Guys, in conclusion, if I was concluding, please eat grass-fed beef. I think it's better for you. It is better for you if you eat grass-fed beef as opposed to an animal that had a very long, bad life, that is sick a lot, that has taken antibiotics, soy, and eats corn and is not treated well, okay? The mistreated animal, avoid that animal, okay? And the animal that was treated well had a really good life up until the end and up until your plate, do that one. That's the one to do. Now, some people will say that the price of the grass-fed animal is way higher than the price of the not grass-fed animal. Maybe it is, because it actually costs more money to move that grass-fed animal from one graze to another graze, and also to treat it well right up until the plate, the death of it, right? And that's good. It's a healthier animal for us to consume. Now, health bills, that is expensive. So when someone who is an anti-meat person says that that meat is killing you and you're eating the non-grass-fed meat, well, then they're actually making a correct, accurate statement. And that statement comes out because the macronutrient, which is the meat, we're consuming that, and the meat was already not great. The micronutrient, That is the corn, the soy, the antibiotics, the things that are hidden in the meat. We are also consuming those and weakening our own immune system. So, is it really more expensive to enjoy something now and be sick later? What does sick later look like? It could be a trip to the hospital. How much does that cost? It could be an overnight at the hospital. How much is that? It could be someone suggesting that you take medicines and medications for the rest of your life. How much is that? So, is eating better for yourself more expensive? Is it? That's really a choice that you're gonna have to come up with. You're gonna have to make the math on that. I would say that it is less expensive to eat good food for yourself and more expensive to eat poor food for yourself just because medical bills are very expensive. So guys, that's really all I wanted to say about that. Between the grass-fed and the non-grass-fed beef, I would say please eat the grass-fed beef. Do yourself a favor, and that is also if you are indeed a meat eater. And that would be based on your blood type. So I always say please know what your blood type is and eat well. Make sure you're drinking plenty of good, high quality water. Make sure that you're getting your vitamins and proper nutrients and minerals, right? Gotta get good sleep, must exercise, and that could be between stretching and yoga, resistance training and cardio. You must have detoxification moments in the form of fasting, intermittent fasting. Certainly you should be having a bowel movement every day. And then mindfulness behavior, which is really just a good attitude like you have to have for watching me. Are you kidding me? You have a good attitude. You gotta have gratitude. Thank you for watching me, all right? You gotta have forgiveness. I'm sorry that I used to smoke cigarettes. I'm sorry that I used to, all right? Have forgiveness for yourself, for other people. Read, have great affirmations for yourself. Love your life, love yourself, love your family. Give to someone that you don't know. Dedicate time or money to someone that is less fortunate than you. Those things actually fall into the realm of mindfulness behavior. All of these things, food, sleep, exercise, detoxification, and mindfulness behavior, are exactly what you need to have the life that God would really want you to have so you can be the greatest person that you can be. Please like and subscribe this video. Please send a comment, lend a comment. Let's talk about what you are thinking or what this may have inspired in you. And please, absolutely send this to a friend. Send this to a loved one, someone that you know that eats meat. And you could say, hey, try to get this meat over that meat. Just try it, okay? Thanks so much for listening. We'll talk about some other things a little bit later.